Hi, my name is Lauren and I live in Kansas, Zone 6B. We've been here about 2.5 years. We bought a fixer-upper farmhouse on 2.5 acres and we spent the first year completely renovating the house. And since then we've slowly been learning how to homestead and grow, or working towards growing most of our own food. So we have a big no-till garden and 2 raised beds. And then we also have a mini orchard with fruit trees. They're not producing yet, but hopefully will in the next few years. And then we have backyard chickens. Eventually we hope to expand our homestead, but this is what we have for now. We're learning how to grow food and can it and preserve it. So I'm going to take you along this week as I work on my garden. We're getting ready for a trip out of town, and if you're homesteading and planning a trip out of town, it is a lot of work. So I'm going to kind of show you behind the scenes. I'm pretty behind on weeding, so I've got a lot of weeding to catch up on, but I'll show you what it's like living on an urban homestead. First up, I'm going to tie my fruit trees to the stakes that my husband put in last week. This will help stabilize them so that they will grow tall and strong. We got our fruit trees from Stark's Bros, and an amazing thing about Stark's Bros is if they don't make it in the first year, they send you a replacement. Next up, I'm going to go over to my garden and work on cutting back these zucchini plants that are completely overtaking the pathways. I got a little bit behind on my garden and I didn't tie them to the trellis or start training them in time, so they're just really out of control. Same with my tomatoes, so I'm going to cut those back and hopefully get them to go up the trellis. Okay, next up, I'm going to start training my cucumbers, zucchini, and tomatoes on the trellis, and then I've already cut most of the zucchini back and actually ended up taking 2 of them out that looked like they were getting a disease and just were overtaking the area. So I have zucchini planted elsewhere, so I think I'm fine. I don't think I need that many, and I'm just going to compost it. But yeah, so I'm going to get started on that and then hopefully get to some of the weeds today. I don't know, we'll see. It is really hot right now, so I'll get as much done as I can. Friends told me about a company called Chip Drop, and you can put in requests to have huge piles of mulch delivered to your house for free. You can pay like $20 to help with the cost for the tree companies, and so we had this huge pile delivered, and we've been using that to mulch our pathways, and then I'm going back and laying more cardboard. So I have been gathering cardboard for months. I recommend, if you're wanting to start a no-till garden in the fall or next spring, start saving your cardboard now, because you're going to need a lot more than you think. So even if you're doing a small garden, it's good to like layer it and make sure you don't have any cracks, because I was a little bit lazy with that when we put our garden in, and now I'm paying for it. So it's best to use cardboard that does not have, definitely not tape, but you also want to not have very much ink. And if you can get cardboard without ink at all, that's the best, but not always possible. So I have found that checking with like local speed supply stores that you can get cardboard that doesn't have ink, but it's usually really thin. So for my pathways, I don't really mind as much about having cardboard that has a little bit of ink on it, but you definitely don't want to use like that shiny kind, like that. I'm trying to think, like a lot of diapers are in boxes that have that like shiny cardboard. You don't want to use that. Next up, I'm adding some native pollinator plants to my garden. I noticed that a lot of my tomato plants were producing a lot of flowers and they were growing really tall and very green, but they were not producing any fruit. And so I'm hoping that these pollinators will attract some bees to my garden and that will help improve pollination. It also could be an issue with my soil, so I'm going to keep trying to figure out the problem because I really, really want some tomatoes this year. It's definitely a learning experience with gardening. Some things are doing really well and other things I'm still learning. Doing a no-till garden this year, and I am really having trouble keeping up with the weeds. The concept is that as weeds begin to grow, you lay cardboard and then either more compost or mulch on top of it. But a problem that I ran into was that I did not have enough compost or mulch on hand, and so then it just got really out of control really fast. So next year I'm hoping to stay more on top of it. Carson took the kids to go get some snacks for the trip, and I am going to work on harvesting what needs to be harvested before we leave, tying up some things to the trellis, so hopefully they'll continue to grow and be trained to go the right direction while we're gone. And then I have so many weeds I need to pull, so I'm gonna hopefully make some progress on that. If it doesn't get done, it'll be fine. I'm sure they'll be there when I get back too, so I'm gonna get to work on that. There are so many benefits of trellising your vegetables, especially cucumbers. I'll link a blog post below that I wrote about the importance of it. I'm just going to keep pulling weeds, trying to keep up, but I feel like I've made a lot of progress on my garden this week, and hopefully it will pay off. We're getting ready to go on vacation, so hopefully it will come back to a garden that is not completely overtaken with weeds. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me as I worked on my garden this week. If you're interested in more slow living content, I'll be sharing more about our fixer-upper, as well as gardening, homesteading, sewing, slow fashion, and motherhood. So subscribe to my channel, and thanks so much for watching. I'll be sharing more soon. Bye.